Well, hello there, philosophy class. Please bear with me because I'm just gonna kind of wing it and ramble a bit because I have a sneaking suspicion that I might be the oldest person in the class. I will be 43 years young in about less than 2 months. So on that, being that I'm twice as old as most of you, I feel that I might have some wisdom to impart on you, especially after taking this wonderful philosophy course. So for this project, we were asked to create something artistically. So I'm still going to work on that, perhaps if this speech is not artistic enough. But the question was, what could you give the world that you've always wanted? Or what have you always wanted and how are you going to give it to the world? Or something to that effect. Basically, we're real open and we're real accommodating around here. And I know that Dr. Newman is just gonna love this speech, even if I stray from the original question just a bit. So some of the things I would like to talk about in keeping it as quick as possible are patience, love, understanding, and friendship. So these are things that I've always wanted, and some of them I've had lots of in my life, and some of them I would like a little more of. So patience, I believe, is incredibly important. On a super personal note, I'm bipolar, and so I require a lot of patience. Just ask my husband. So I think being patient with people is something to always keep in the forefront of your mind. You never know what somebody's going through. That's kind of cliche, but it's very true. And there is a stigma around mental illness and around a lot of things. You don't know what kind of things that someone you were speaking with or you're trying to build a relationship with have been through. You don't know how they might have been oppressed or victimized in their lifetime. So I think it's always important to have the utmost patience and try to understand, if you can, what someone else is going through. On understanding, don't feel the need to relate it back to yourself all the time. I feel that humans have a tendency to always interject back to themselves somehow. So, if somebody dies, a lot of people, the first thing they do is put a picture of them and the deceased on Facebook or something like that. You don't need to do that. Or if you have a friend that's like, hey, I'm going through a really hard time. My husband said this hurtful thing. You don't have to reply with, oh, I hate it when my husband says this. Sometimes it's okay to just validate and move on. Don't be so self-centered all the time because it's not a great look, people. Moving on. Give patience to your friends and family. Understanding kind of goes along with the patience. We're never going to understand people. I can try my best to understand where each of you are coming from. Dr. Newman can try his best to understand where each of us are coming from. But honestly, we're not going to get it. We only know what our experience is. So we can try to have empathy. We can do our best to have empathy. But we should understand that we're really never going to know what it's like for someone else. The best we can do is try to understand ourselves as much as possible, and then we can make the best version of ourselves and then make that best version of ourselves emotionally available to our loved ones or people that you are trying to build a relationship with, or a society that you happen to be elected to run, or whatever. So now that I'm approaching 4 minutes, I would just like to say, if my best advice to have love, patience, understanding, and friendship is to be patient by not talking about yourself and being an active listener, to love like it's the last day of your life. Love with no strings attached. When you give, A+, I'm crying. If you give, then give it with no expectancy. Just give, because when you figure out that the love that you feel from giving, even it comes from the giving. It doesn't come from like, oh, well, they didn't give me anything. So, it comes from within. So, and if you haven't experienced that, then I challenge all of you to go out this holiday season and volunteer in a soup kitchen and there's churches everywhere. So find somewhere where you can help somebody less fortunate. Go ring some bells at the Salvation Army, or pick a secular organization that helps the underprivileged, and you'll realize quickly how wonderful it is to help others, especially during the holidays. So be open and be curious and be accepting. I need to cut this off now, but if you would like to hear more of Jesse's inspirational mantras, sign up at gratefulweddings.com. Thanks, guys. It's been a real pleasure. Happy holidays.